podcast. I'm Charlie Neff.
And I'm Eric Colley.
Eric, thank you for joining us today.
Of course.
Eric has an amazing podcast. Want to tell us about it quickly?
Get to the Hook. Charles and I host that. Charles, our boss, Charles Latabaudiere. This week we are talking about Aerosmith. They are done.
Oh, wow.
They're done. It's sad, yeah.
Well, I'm trying to remember. Leaving on a jet plane? Was that them? No.
You know I don't want to miss a thing.
Wait, yes.
That's what you know.
Okay, same movie, wrong song.
Yeah,
Was close.
Yeah.
Got a lot of talk about today. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, her co-star for her new movie. There's a lot of rumors that they're not getting along, and we have a video of them in what appears to be a heated conversation. Yeah. Skai Jackson, Disney princess, was arrested for domestic battery after a fight with her boyfriend. Some other bombshells in there, by the way. Rodgers has had this long-standing rift with his family, and apparently it started with Olivia Munn. He's denying it, but we'll get into those claims. And Grant Ellis is going to be the next Bachelor, and he is the second Black Bachelor, and a lot of people are excited for this.
Right.
All right, starting off with Blake Lively. Have you been following this at all?
A little bit. Have you seen the movie?
I haven't seen the movie. So her new movie is called It Ends With Us. There's a rumored feud with her and her co-star, Justin Baldoni.
Who's also the director.
Exactly. And she's a producer.
Right.
So they are working on it in like a collaborative way. You know, there are rumors about creative differences. But so they've been doing all the press for this movie, which, by the way, is about like domestic violence based off of a book.
It's a dark movie, apparently.
Very dark movie, dark story. But they noticeably have not been walking the red carpet together. He's been like, posing for photos with his wife. She's been posing with like this young star that like plays a younger version of herself. But they also
press junkets. Usually, like stars get together and do the interviews. You always see those.
Totally.
He's doing them on his own, not with Blake or the rest of the cast. Something seems off.
Yes, and they also apparently unfollowed each other on social media. Well, we got a video that was shot by someone inside of a restaurant, and this is during the time they were filming, and it kind of looks like a very animated / heated conversation. Here's a little bit of the video.
You can see they're like gesturing at each other very intently. It's
that wave there that he did, and then the way she looks down. I don't know. Just when you know about all these like alleged rumors, and then you see something like this, you do feel like there's more to the rumors.
Although there are other people involved with the film saying this is not exactly what it looks like, that they were discussing the movie, that he was kind of directing her in a way about a scene.
Yep.
And because it is a sort of unhappy movie, it would make sense that they would not look happy discussing a scene. But that's also maybe just a convenient way to cover the fact that maybe they really just don't like each other.
Right. Which, I mean, if the movie is about, domestic violence, I imagine like you want to be kind of in character, not necessarily you want to go like commit domestic violence, but like you have like anger about somebody. Like as an actor, you kind of like will usually live the part as well.
Yeah,
like
it's not like you yell cut and then suddenly you're just all happy-go-lucky. If you've been in this really dark place to get through these scenes.
Yeah,
well,
and it could be that, but I don't know. Where there's smoke, I sometimes think there's fire.
Even Colleen Hoover, who's the author of the book that it's based on, even she unfollowed him on social media.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting as well.
So I don't, whatever happens with this, I don't know if we'll hear more about it, but I don't see them ever working together again.
Yeah, and there's like an interesting clip on the red carpet where he was asked like, oh, do you want to direct the next movie? And he had said like, oh, no, anybody can do it. Like, he kind of just, like, brushed it off, and then somebody else had asked, like, oh, do you want Blake to direct? And he's like, yeah, if she wants to. She can direct. Like, just very, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but just, again, hearing the rumors, and then you have, like, a new set of eyes to look at these things, you're kind of like, was that friendly?
It also made $50 million its first weekend. So
yes, I do want to see it.
Maybe money that are like, you know what, we don't like each other, but we made a lot of money. Maybe we'll do it again. I don't know.
Right. Could be like a whole press thing. Maybe it's all like fake.
It's kind of like a reverse of Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney.
Yes, their whole like romance. Yeah, exactly.
They actually hate each other. Go see the movie.
Right. Yeah.
But it's working.
It's working. Moving on to Skai Jackson, former Disney Channel alum. She was recently arrested for domestic violence. So you might remember her, Eric, from Jessie, Bunked. Well, she was apparently at Universal City Walk with her boyfriend, and allegedly security saw her push her boyfriend. There was some kind of altercation. They detained the couple until law enforcement arrives. So law enforcement gets there. Our sources say that Skai and her boyfriend, they denied anything
Yeah.
got physical. They're like, nope, we're happily engaged, which, by the way, a couple bombshells here. They said, number one, they're happily engaged. And then number two, they're expecting a baby together,
Yeah,
which,
that's a weird way of announcing
what?
it to the world.
I know. So they said those things. But then deputies weren't like convinced, right? Because
Right.
security said, we saw her push him. So they went back and they reviewed footage, saw she pushed him, and then she was arrested for misdemeanor domestic battery. She was cited and released a few hours later, and the case is going to be reviewed by LA County.
But if the fiance, we were discussing this before the podcast, if her fiance says, nope, she didn't push me, nothing happened, we're good, can they still go with the charges? Because you hear
Yeah.
all the time the opposite, like where a woman could be clearly battered. And if she says,
Totally.
nope, I'm okay, I fell, I
Like
walked
they're
into a door.
scared.
Yeah, but the cops usually, as far as I know, maybe I'm wrong on this,
Yeah.
can't pursue it if the person's not making a complaint.
I feel like we've worked on cases like this, and the DA can, go forward with charges, but then it gets kind of messy if you have somebody involved that doesn't want to participate. It's usually better if you have someone that's been like, he did this, this is my story. But if you have someone that's like, oh no, everything's fine, and then something did happen, kind of makes it harder for them to pursue the case.
This case, though, we don't know. I don't know what their relationship is like. But if, especially if she's pregnant, maybe they got annoyed with each other and she shoved him or pushed him.
Yeah.
If my wife shoved me, I don't want her arrested.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's not
Especially a pregnant wife.
right. It's
Yeah.
like maybe there's something deeper with their relationship. We don't know. I don't want to speculate on that. But
Yeah.
if it's just they had a moment and she pushed him, I would not want my wife arrested over that.
Right. And look, we haven't seen the footage, so we don't know how bad the push was
Yeah.
or what.
Just saying
but
she shoved him or she pushed him doesn't
Right.
sound that bad.
doesn't sound
But
too crazy. But Universal City Walk, man, I haven't been there for a minute. Have you been there?
It's been a while since I've been there.
They
yeah.
have that Voodoo Donuts place. That's pretty good.
You're
You're
like,
ever feeling like angry at Universal City Walk?
Yeah.
Just go get yourself a donut.
some people are excited about the rides and all
Yeah.
the shows. You're like, no, the donuts. We
Oh,
got
the
the donuts.
Voodoo
there.
Donuts.
All right, I gotta get
Those
some Voodoo donuts.
hits. Moving on to Aaron Rodgers. So he's had this known rift with his family. There's this new book coming out where there's some allegations. Apparently, Ed and Darla Rodgers made some allegations in an interview for the author of the upcoming book. And the couple said that they visited Aaron in Green Bay just days before a game back in early December.
Of 2014, right? So
2014,
10 years
a
ago.
long time ago. And apparently there was some kind of incident between the parents and Olivia.
Right. So we know that he's had kind of a fractured relationship with his family for a long, long time now.
Yeah.
And they're saying it's Olivia Munn's fault that they went to this game in 2014 and that Aaron didn't have a good game, kind of had an off night. And then they got a call from Munn saying that they weren't welcome at the games anymore.
That's
And they were like, what? No.
Yeah,
So they
their
said,
son.
yeah, they said they went to the next game, but they didn't see Aaron at all.
Mm.
And then they got an email from him saying, don't attack the woman I love. And then it's been strained basically ever since.
So it's interesting because on Aaron's side, he's basically denying all this, saying the family was dysfunctional before Olivia was in the picture, but didn't say like why the family is torn
Right.
apart. And this has kind of been like a long-standing thing for a while. There was like rumors a long time ago that Aaron didn't show up to like his grandma's funeral, and that sparked a rift. And then if you remember, Jordan Rodgers, his brother, was on The Bachelorette, and they had it was JoJo's season, and they had highlighted like Jordan with JoJo sitting at a table with their family, and like Aaron was not
Yeah.
there.
You know, they probably
was
wanted
so
him on the show
awkward.
for the hopes of getting Aaron to
Oh,
make a cameo.
1,000%. They're like, wow,
Did
we got
not.
Jordan Rodgers, like Aaron's brother. Like that made him kind of like cool,
Right.
or interesting for the season.
Yeah.
But he was not there. And
So Olivia Munn, she's also saying, she's like, when I met Aaron, he said they had a bad relationship. The family is saying that's absolutely not true. We were cool before that. But he and Olivia Munn have been broken up since like 2017, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
long time. And he still has not had a great relationship with his family.
right.
So,
It's not like he's reconnected with them.
right.
So it kind of checks out that maybe there were some issues before she came along.
Yeah. Maybe they genuinely didn't know it.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
true. I bet you always want to see like a family like work it out.
Yeah, you
work
hope
it
so.
out. All right, moving on to Grant Ellis. He is the next Bachelor on season 29. So exciting. So he was on the most recent season of The Bachelorette, and he got booted off pretty early, which is kind of sad, but he had poured his heart out. He said it wasn't good enough for Jen Tran, who is the Bachelorette. He said it just sucks because he felt a certain way for her, but she clearly didn't have the same feelings. But now he's getting his chance, his shot at love.
Isn't that kind of what you want, really? If you go on The
Yeah.
Bachelorette, you want to get kicked off early and come back as the Bachelor.
Right, and you wanna make some kind of, like, impact, maybe not too big where it's
Right.
overwhelming, but, like, just enough where fans are like, "God, I'd love to see more of that person," which obviously he did. So, he is actually the 2nd Black Bachelor. Remember the first one was Matt James, and there was a lot of drama in his season.
Right.
That was, like, the whole takedown of Chris Harrison
Yeah.
had to do with Matt James,
It's
and
kind of wild. And you said this is season 29 he's going to be leading. That
Yeah.
twice in 29 seasons, it's been not generically handsome white dude.
Very, very
But-
true. Very true. But, we have had a Black Bachelorette, Rachel Lindsay. We have had Jen Tran, who's the first Asian. So, like, there are some strides being
diversifying.
made. I mean, maybe
Did
not
Jen
enough.
Tran wind up
but-
with her ex-boyfriend? I remember you talking about
Oh,
that. that
yeah,
her boyfriend
yeah.
flew from South America to win her back.
Yeah, no.
She wasn't interested? Yeah.
I always do like when, you get, like, a text from your ex. Like, it definitely puts the ball in your court. Like, good feeling.
I'm sure
good
your
feeling.
husband loves that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you were single and you were on The Bachelor,
Yes.
and you knew you could either, like, find real true love and marry him and be with him forever, or you get booted off early and you get to be the Bachelorette and get famous.
Second.
Really? You're like,
And I do feel like
Screw
a lot
you,
of
true love.
girls think about that as well.
you'd have to.
Yeah. By the way, I actually auditioned for The Bachelor.
Did you?
Yeah, I got like
After you
through-
got married?
No. I know.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. You know what? You never know. My old ripe age of 37. But I had auditioned, and it was during the time where there was rumors that it was going to be Peter Cornell. Was that his last name? I forget his name, but he was super hot.
You don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I was like, in my little interview, I was like, yeah, Peter's my guy. I showed up to an actual like casting,
Oh, wow.
and which, by the way, had the most beautiful girls I've ever seen in the world. I was like, I have no way in hell am I getting this.
You could have been on it. I know you're fishing, but I'll go ahead and bite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember in my interview, I kept saying like, Peter this, Peter that. Like, I kept talking so much about
Yeah.
Peter, and they were all just kind of looking at me because it wasn't like confirmed he was going to be the guy. And then it turns out it was Ari Lyondike, and I did not get the call back. And I had said like, yeah. They're like, oh, what do you think of like older guys? I'm like, no. And he's like
Oh,
older, at the
no.
time he was. So yeah, but you know what? He's happily married, has a couple kids.
And so
with
are
Lauren
you. You're
Lyondike.
happily married, so it worked out.
Yeah, oh, the happily part, but definitely the married. Just kidding. Sorry, Johnny. All right, today in history,
All right.
Eric, I got to know this about you. So
Yes.
today is Left-Handers
Woohoo!
Day. Are you left-hander?
I'm left-handed.
No, shut up.
I am.
This is your day.
I know. I didn't even know it.
Oh, we're celebrating
right.
Eric today, ladies and
Talking
gentlemen.
my left hand leading.
So this is kind of interesting because on this day, the Left-Handers organization was created because back in the day, I didn't realize this, like during school time, they would make you force, even if you're left-handed, which is like 10% of the population, they would force you to write with your right hand.
I never had to do that. But yeah, being left-handed, there's a lot of things, and the world is designed for right-handed people.
Yeah,
which
you
makes
like
sense. It's like 90
scissors?
scissors, which I do actually use right-handed scissors. But
Yeah.
like,
Is that feeling so weird though?
no, I think I just got used to it. I can't use left-handed scissors.
Oh,
But like writing like in spiral notebooks, it would always cut those little
Oh,
the spiral would cut into your
yeah.
hand, and you'd streak your pencil lead across
Yeah.
the page. And
Oh, poor Eric.
yeah, it was rough. Actually, my wife made fun of me. So I always have a hard time with can openers, and she's like, "Why can you not
Oh.
work a can opener?" I'm like, "I don't know." And then so I
Is
had
it
some.
made for a right person?
Well, yeah. Think if you take like an old school can opener and you pop it on the can, you turn it with your right hand and hold it with
Right,
your left.
right.
So it would pop off, and I couldn't figure it out. We had
Oh.
friends over one night, and she was like, my wife was laughing at me, and she's like, "Yeah, he can't work a can opener." And they're like, "Well, it's because he's left-handed." And they found there's left-handed can
Oh.
openers, and they got me one,
Shut
and
up.
I've never had a problem since.
I'm
and to prove my
dying.
point, I had my wife. I'm like, "Okay, open a can with a left-handed can opener." And she
You
couldn't do it.
Wow.
Seems like a dumb thing, but
vindication.
yeah, right.
Well, today is Left-Handers Day.
All right.
So yay. This day in 1942, Bambi was released.
Wow.
Took on hunters during that time. I know you're from West Virginia,
yeah.
but I did not grow up with the hunting thing. I cannot understand
I
it.
mean, I was never a hunter, but I also know if people don't hunt deer, they overpopulate, they get
Right.
disease, they start eating up all their food. So you kind of do have to hunt them and thin them
Yeah.
out. But
But what
it's
if
sad.
what if you kill a deer and then it has babies like Bambi? Like, isn't that sad?
It is sad. That's also a cartoon.
Yeah, I know, but poor Bambi. This day in 2004, cooking expert Julia Child died.
Oh, God, it's been 20 years since she
Yeah,
died?
it's been a long time. She
Wow.
was like the cooking lady that like had French cuisine. She like was on TV, would teach you how
Yeah.
to cook. Look, I can't cook for anything, but I remember they did that
You'd
movie
watch those
on her.
shows and you think you could.
Right. That's
Any cooking
that's
show, you're
my
like, "I could
toxic
do
trait.
that."
My toxic trait. I also feel like that with the Olympics. I watch the Olympics. That's my toxic trait where I'm like, I could do that.
Yeah, that doesn't look that hard. And then you try it, no.
No way.
No,
not
not
with my
for
old
me.
ass. Some birthdays today: Sebastian Stan, Danny Bonaducci,
Oh, yeah.
and Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any Alfred Hitchcock movies?
Never.
None?
Actually, can you? I don't even.
Psycho? With the knife in the shower?
I mean, I
that
know
movie
like
holds
the
up. That's a good movie.
because I love Halloween. So
Yeah.
I know like the scene, but I couldn't tell you what the movie's about.
It's a really good movie.
Really?
It actually is, because there's a big twist right in the middle that you don't see coming with
Ooh.
the shower scene. And I don't even want to give it away if you don't know.
Oh, okay.
Unless you really
okay.
hate black and white movies. I know some people cannot watch a black and
Oh,
white
I
movie.
can. I can.
It's a good, it holds up. It's a good movie.
Okay. Well, you know what? You're getting me excited for Halloween.
I know, it's almost time. I
I'm
saw a
already
commercial
ready
last
to
night.
decorate. Oh, and if you go to Home Goods, they have all the Halloween decor. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, my season. White girl, pumpkin spice.
You got your
season.
finalists for your costume this year?
Yeah. Well, so for Halloween here, we always dress up pretty big.
Yeah.
I think I got what I'm gonna be.
Oh,
You
yeah.
always have a good costume.
Last year it kind of sucked, but I got back from New Zealand the night before, so it was
Oh,
kind
wow.
of it was rough.
Poor Eric, I got back from New Zealand.
Oh, woe is me.
All right. Well, Eric, thank you so much for joining us
Of course.
today.
Happy Left-Hander Day.
I know. Happy Left Hander Day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.